back to our course on setting up and running a successful local business in yoga, Pilates, or some other service that you're providing. I'm Marie Page, and Module 5 is all about Facebook and other social media. Now, for yoga and Pilates, really, this is about Facebook and Instagram. I don't think Twitter is a particularly useful social media platform to be using. Similarly, Snapchat, TikTok, I'm not convinced that they really are going to get you any new people in at all. You might want to think about LinkedIn if you're providing yoga classes in a corporate setting. I actually do an evening after work yoga class for Nissan UK, so that's their head office. So I might want to do some LinkedIn updates, but really I'm just going to focus on Facebook and Instagram for this particular module. So let's think first of all about Facebook. You've got 3 options on Facebook, and you may well want to do all 3. You have your own personal profile. So that's what I'm showing you in the bottom right here. So that's me. I've got a yoga teachery kind of image there because I am using my profile a bit to promote my classes. And it's got a picture of cows behind at the moment because that's a nice shot I took. The reason you would use a profile is one, whether you have quite a lot of friends already with people on Facebook that follow you or friends with you on Facebook, and you just want to tell them all about your classes. But the other reason that you would do that is because Facebook's algorithm means that it favours posts from friends and family over posts that are done by a page. So if you are using your profile, it's far more likely to get seen by people than posts on your page, even though the people on your page have said they want to be your fans or followers and they want to see what you're doing. So be aware of that, because back in the old days, sort of 5-8 years ago with Facebook, it was the thing to do to create a business page. And I think you probably do still need one. You certainly need one if you're going to run any ads. And I have got one, but I don't do an awful lot on it. And I would suggest that you think quite hard about whether you should perhaps use your profile to do your promotion, as well as your sort of friends and family stuff. And you can put people into lists so that just your yoga-y people see your yoga updates and other people see the others. It requires a little bit of know-how on Facebook, nothing that you can't Google and find out. So do have a think about profiles. Facebook's not super keen on people using profiles to do a lot of promotion, but I think if you're not doing it solely for promoting your business, but it's clearly your personal profile as well, I think that's fine, and you will get a lot more organic reach. That's what we talk about when we talk about how many people are likely to see something you post if you're posting in your profile rather than a page. So the page is the business thing you create. So here is mine, and I've got a business logo on there. I've called my page Marie Page Yoga, and I've given myself an @ name, Marie Page Yoga. There, okay. So I'm not going to go into masses of detail in this course about how to create a page, how to optimize your page, how to make sure that it's seen despite the newsfeed algorithm, because I've got a whole big course about that in the Digiterati Academy. So if you want to learn more about doing marketing on Facebook organically or through ads, then look at the 2 separate courses that I've got for those in the Digiterati Academy here. And then the final thing is a group. And again, there's a big course on Facebook groups. This is how my Facebook group looks, Marie Page Yoga. You have 3 choices in a group. You can have it public, private, or secret. I would suggest that you go for a public group, because that means that anyone that clicks on it can see everything that's in the group. Unless they're a member of the group, they cannot comment. So why would you not want to have it public, really? The group's content is given a more favourable kind of ranking in the algorithm to a page, and people tend to be a lot chattier in groups. They tend to interact a lot more. Groups feel a little bit more special. So I would suggest that you look at doing a group rather than a page. Now, I know that this will be contrary to a lot of what you would have expected me to say, and to contrary to what a lot of other yoga teachers do. Now, I have all three of these. I post most regularly in the group, but I see the group really as for people that are currently my students or have expressed an interest in being a student and have kind of signed in, become a member of the group because they want to learn more. And I see the page really as the place where I just have more public information, certainly don't put as much content up there. It's not the place that I'm communicating with my students. That's the group, or through email marketing or something else. Okay, so just get the terminology right. Profile, that's your personal stuff. Page, that's your business stuff. And then a group is that sort of community really that you're building. Let's have a look at someone that uses her profile really well. I don't think Wendy, she's a local yoga teacher to me, and I am a friend of hers on Facebook. I don't think she actually has a Facebook page. She just uses her profile, and she will have posts like this all about yoga, encouraging people to come to her yoga classes, and she's probably creating images on Canva, by the way, which is one of the tools that we will look at in the tools module. She's got a nice little yoga studio, pictures of her doing some poses, and she uses her profile a lot to do promotion. If you come to her class, she'll normally find you on Facebook and see if you want to be a friend. She's not pushy about it at all. She doesn't post a million times a week. There's maybe one or two posts, and if she goes to an exhibition or something like that, she'll post about that as well. So it's not purely about her yoga classes. So she's using Facebook, to my mind, really, really well, and you can see she's getting quite a lot of engagement on that. 11 likes there and 1 share. The other thing that I would say about best practice for Facebook, or in fact any social media, is that when you get comments to any of your posts, you respond to them. You say something nice and welcoming and thank people for it. You perhaps ask further questions. At the very least, you want to have a reaction to a like or a love or whatever on it. So do encourage that sort of two-way and reward people for when they are giving you any interaction at all. Here's a Facebook page. So this is my page. And I know it's mine because you wouldn't see the plus sign if I was logged in as anyone other than me. And I've just uploaded an image from one of my classes, and there's bits and pieces in there. Just best practice. Let's have a quick look at best practice. Complete all the about information that you can. So, the category, put the name, opening hours, your business info, contacts info, your about, what products you've got. I've written up my story. I'm connected in as a team member so people can see me. Here's some of what my posts look like. So I've got my theme of the week up there. I'm doing some teaching at a local yoga festival, so I put some information in about there. There's various bits and pieces in the tabs. I think I've just removed the jobs tab because I don't have jobs going, so I don't particularly want people to be distracted by looking at that. I do use the events quite a lot, particularly for my workshops. So I would create that a workshop as a Facebook event, and then I'd normally put a little bit of money behind that and boost that out to people in the locality that are interested in yoga, Pilates, or I often use something like Weight Watchers, Slimming World. I'm just kind of thinking of my customer base and thinking what other brands they like and what other interests they have. So I'm trying to find people like them. Other best practice for Facebook pages, you can set up a messenger greeting. So if people want to message you on Facebook, you can have an automatic greeting. You do that in settings. You can connect your Instagram account and sync your contact info. So I think that's quite wise to do. I'd suggest turning off the tabs that you're not using, for instance, that jobs tab, and you do that again in settings. You can choose a call to action button. So let's look at what mine is. Mine is book now, but you could have a contact us or more info. There's lots of different CTA buttons that you can have. You need a logo that works as a circular profile picture. So you can either have your face or some image you like, or your logo. The size of your cover image should be 1200 by 6 to 8 pixels. And I would suggest that you create your own vanity URL. So that for me is at Marie Page Yoga. So it's facebook.com/pages/Marie Page Yoga. And again, you can do that quite easily in the settings. It'll give you a load of numbers if you don't have a vanity URL. So far better to have something that is in keeping and consistent with your website, your Instagram profile, the little handle you have from Instagram, and whatever else you're doing. Page best practice. I'd suggest that you vary your content types, so you upload photos, links, just plain status updates, you pop up videos, you use Facebook Lives. The algorithm likes lots of different types of content, and so will your fans. Do use events, so you can see I've got a couple of events that are coming up. Very easy to boost the event from there as well. Boosting meaning getting it advertised out to people beyond your existing fans. If you've got a special offer on, for instance, a block booking offer, or you're doing a kind of charity thing, or you've got some free classes, do use the offers type. I'd suggest that you don't duplicate content across from Instagram. I can always tell when that's been done because there's masses of hashtags. Hashtags are a great thing to use on Instagram, but they don't work terribly well on Facebook. And I just think they look very Instagrammy, and you don't want your Facebook updates to look like they were done on Instagram and copied over. So create them separately. Do use the pinned post on your page. So here's my pinned post, and I'm actually suggesting that people go over to my Facebook group because that's where all the action and discussion is. Okay, so that's just a simple introduction to your Facebook page and best practice there. The other thing that I would say about best practice for Facebook, or in fact any social media, is that when you get comments to any of your posts, you respond to them. You say something nice and welcoming and thank people for it. You perhaps ask further questions. At the very least, you want to have a reaction to a like or a love or whatever on it. So do encourage that sort of two-way and reward people for when they are giving you any interaction at all. If you want to learn more about working organically with Facebook, I would strongly suggest that you check out my course Newsfeed Mastery. It's in the Digiterati Academy. It's quite expensive to buy as a one-off, but if you get our AAA subscription, you can get access to absolutely all of my classes and courses for a low monthly fee. So 7 modules, you can whiz through that in a day or two. What about Facebook boosts and ads? Well, I would suggest that you do them, particularly if you have a special event to promote. So here is an example. I've got this beginners yoga workshop that I'm doing. I am boosting that out, so promoting it out to people that are within 3 miles of the location where it is. I'm restricting the age 25 to 64. I could choose just women if I felt that they were more likely to come to it. And there you see, I'm including people who match Pilates or yoga as interests. I may well add in something like Slimming World, as I've said, or Weight Watchers, or outdoor activities, or dog owners, whatever you think is a common factor with your target market. Again, if you are going to be doing any boosting or any advertising, it's very easy to spend a lot of money and not get any results on Facebook if you don't know what you're doing. So I've done Facebook advertising for years. I'm quite an expert in it, and I've got this fabulous course called Zero to Hero with Facebook Ads, which again will go into all of this in huge detail. It would take me several hours to go into the detail that you would need for it here. So if you head over to that course, again in Digiterati Academy, you can do it there. What about your Facebook group? What should you do there? Well, as I said, you could have a private or a public or a secret group. I don't really see why you'd want to have a secret group. The difference with secret groups is that they are only visible to people that have got the URL of that group. You won't be wanting to do that. You'll be wanting to make your group as widely seen as possible. You can have a number of announcements in a Facebook group. So in the page, you can have 1 pinned post. In groups, you can have, I think, up to 10 announcements. And I tend to have an announcement at the top of my group, which is all about how they can sign into classes, how they can get booking. Here is an example of a poll that you can do in groups. There's all manner of things you can do in groups that get people interacting, that give you feedback about what people are looking for, what they're wanting to do. So I asked what people are looking to focus on: stretches, strength work, upper back, hamstrings and balances. So I use that information when I'm doing my lesson planning. Here are some examples of some of the posts that I would do in a group. Of course, you could put these in your page instead or as well as your group. So on the right here I did some PNF stretching in a class one week, and the students really loved it. So I followed it up with an article that I found from Healthline all about technique and guidelines for PNF stretching. So if you don't know what that is, you can click through to my group and find that. And then what I also do each week is I do a lesson plan, which I share with the group. So that's a PDF. So I get that it's a tummy.com function. So I've created that lesson plan for myself as a teacher to help me guide through the class, and then I make it as a PDF so people can print it out and follow it at home as well if they'd like. And with tummy.com you can get some stats, so which muscle groups were used the most, what the body positions were, what types of yoga poses they are. So I pop those in as well, and they're quite popular. Then I will sometimes do a little post all about a particular posture. So we'd been working on planks, so I did a post all about planks. Of course, now this was before I had my blog. Nowadays, what I tend to do is I create a blog post that would be all about planks or all about a particular pose. I'd have a really nice image about it. You've seen my better balance image. And I'd make it into a blog post, and then I'd share a link to that blog post in the Facebook group. And then I often take pictures in class, and I just try and say something nice and friendly, encouraging to people if they did particularly well. I maybe pick up on what we did and just say, really great camels in class this week, or whatever pose that we were working in. And you see, lots of lovely comments from people as well. And I think it's nice for other people that have perhaps not started going to your classes yet, but are in your group or fans of your page, that they can see the kind of people that are in your classes. They can see the breadth of ages, they can see the breadth of body types, and see that, oh, they're not twisting themselves up in crazy pretzel shapes. Look what they're doing. I think I could do that. That looks okay. Then an image of Savasana, and people can just see nice friendly lighting, and a nice relaxed setting at the end of class. Then one of my pinned posts, or one of my announcements, is what to bring and wear to a yoga class. I've also got a page on the blog that's talking about this. I use quite a lot of props. A lot of my students do get their own knee pads, because I do quite a lot of balances on the knees. And I think this is a lot more comfortable than just rolling them up a couple of times. I tend not to use those very thick mats. They're more Pilates mats really, because it's quite difficult to do balances on a thick mat. So here's one of my announcements. This is my current how to book into a class. So you can see what the prices are, the schedule, images of, what's normal. So this is the first thing that people see when they come into my Facebook group. More examples here from Wendy, just doing some stuff in her own Facebook profile. So strong poses this morning in class. So she creates this little montage each time. She's got some quite abstract images here. So she's using her profile really nicely. What about Instagram? Well, I'm not going to go into masses of detail on Instagram, because I don't think it's such a natural way of promoting for the majority of your students, but it is a good way of trying to find some local people, and I would suggest doing that by creating some nice yoga-y type postures, as you see in quite a lot of these. So these were some pictures of a workshop I'd been on, Annette and I doing some practice, my better balance thing. So I will have some text there which describes what it's about, and I will definitely be using my hashtags there, and I will be using hashtags to do with yoga, hashtag yoga life, hashtag Pilates if it was Pilates, hashtag Chorley Woods, hashtag Hertfordshire, and hashtag asana, and bringing in your local geographic hashtags as well means that you are potentially going to connect with people that are using Instagram locally and are interested in the sport that you offer, the service that you offer, and they may well find you that way. Just to say that the picture of my shoes is I'd actually gone and done a conference. I've been speaking at a conference about how to use social media for Neil's Yard Remedies consultants, and I got so many comments about my rather fabulous shoes afterwards that I thought, oh, I'll put a nice fun post up. It doesn't have to be all about yoga, does it? So I put that up about my shoes, and that got quite a nice lot of replies. I have a professional profile on Instagram. It's very easy for you to get the professional profile and to switch over from a personal one. The advantage of a professional one is that you get to see the data, you get the insights as to what people have done, what type of people are following you, and that kind of thing. And you also get links too, which is super useful. And of course, I've got at this screen, the point of this screen grab, I've got my clickable link as my Facebook group, but actually I think I need to switch that around to have my website as the clickable link. So you can see I've got, I've just said what I'm all about: yoga teacher and Chorleywood Hearts, also digital and social media marketer, loving live music and vegan food. So a little bit about me. So that's Instagram. You can advertise on Instagram as well as Facebook, and you do that through Facebook because Instagram is owned by Facebook, of course. By the way, for my profile pic for Instagram, I just thought it was better to do something of me in an asana, so there is me in crow pose rather than my logo, because Instagram's all about photos, isn't it, rather than kind of the more sort of static logo. So that's why I'm using a different one there. But see, I'm using the same @name Marie Page Yoga as I've got for the website. I do need to change my group to Marie Page Yoga rather than Yoga with Marie for my URL at some point. I kind of had a change of heart as to what I was wanting to call it once I'd realised that there was someone else that was working as Yoga with Marie. Okay, so that's it on Instagram. As we come to the end of this little module on Facebook and Instagram, as I say, with social media, I think you could look at LinkedIn if you're working in a corporate setting. You might want to do some work on Twitter or the other platforms, but you know what? You need to go to the social platforms where your students are likely to be. And I think for most of you, that is going to be on Facebook and on Instagram. You can infiltrate WhatsApp groups as well, but I'm going to handle that in a different module. Thanks very much. The next module is all about free promotion opportunities, and I'll see you back there.